Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this French campaign. So today we've got two battles, and if we're gonna try and get both of them in, we need to hurry, but I'll just quickly go over the situation. So after the battle we had here, obviously the Spanish forces in Brussels were weakened, and I guess the Dutch saw their opportunity and they moved in and took it. Which works perfectly for me, because I wanted to take this territory off the Spanish for quite a while. Or I think I mentioned it even in the first episode. So now we have the opportunity of that. The Dutch, well, we got two birds in one stone. Because we'll be able to take this. And not only that, the big stack that the Dutch were making is obviously weakened after having fought the Spanish. So we have a pretty good chance, I'd say, of actually taking this out. Now they still have 29 units compared to our 26. And they got lots of cannons. Cannons could be, it could be a miss or a hit. Either it could be just a storm of, you know, iron that just completely wipes out my cavalry and units and whatever trying to get close, or they could fire into a hill, fire into each other, fire into their own troops, and then my cavalry kills them. So whether or not the cannons do well or not, I think is going to be a big part in how this battle turns out. Second problem I see in this battle is the guards. They have these, I guess, blue guard, which they have 4 units. They have 50 accuracy, so it's a proper guard unit, and I have no infantry unit that comes close to that. Actually, I do. The Swiss have 45, but I'm not sure. There's probably also rate of fire, or how quickly they're able to reload, which isn't modeled here. Plus they got high melee defense, so cavalry charges might not be super useful against them, or at least on their own compared to other units. But this is not the battle that I'm worried about. The battle that I'm worried about is taking place in America. The pirates, I mean, the pirates are completely going bananas. Now, a lot of their fleets are made up of these fire ships, but that's just as bad. You know, all these ships running up to the side of your ships and exploding, destroying everything. But that's not the main concern right now, even though it is a concern. The concern is that the British are preparing for a counterattack. They have built up quite the force. Now, you may look at the stack and you see, oh, there's a lot of natives and stuff. The thing is, I went through this and I kind of counted, and I mean, the real worry isn't really all the native like infantry, which you can see quite a lot of. I would say it's rather the cavalry. So we can see here it's got 6 units in cavalry, then we got an additional 3, so we're up to 9. Then there's 4 here, that means we're up to 13 cavalry units. 14 with that one, and I'm sure I'm missing something. That's a lot of cavalry. And, you know, a big mistake with me building my native stack was that I saw very early on in the battle where we lost. No, we didn't. Was it this territory? No, it was somewhere else. We lost the battle against the native. Oh, it was down in Dutch Guiana, or French Guiana, I should say, where we lost a battle due to enemy native bowmen who was super accurate and just slaughtered my concentrated European forces. But now when I use native archers, they're completely crap. So that is something we definitely have to change out. Currently I am recruiting extra planes archers. However, I'm thinking that it's better for us to attack now than to sit and wait for those 3 extra units, even though the horse archers are really good. So we're gonna go ahead and go on the attack. We have quite a few units less than the enemy, But oh, look at that. Even though I'm like, I don't know how I didn't count how many units less I have, but it's quite a few. It's, you know, almost 10, or it's like 7 or 8 or something like that. Even with that, there's only about a difference of 100 men. Now the problem is the enemy's advantage in cavalry. As I said, they have 15 cavalry units, and they could easily swipe away a lot of my natives if they're able to charge right into that. So we'll see how this battle goes. I'm hoping that I will be able to figure out a strategy to work around all the cavalry. But yeah, better to go into battle first and see how we manage before we make any big plans out here. So without further ado, let's go into battle. And there's rain. Luckily, I'm not going to rely much on muskets for this battle. Let's see. Cannon is loaded and ready. All the cavalry is moving into position. Firing in that unit, I think, would lead to maximum casualty, as the shots would bounce, hopefully through multiple units. And it does. It didn't bounce through nearly enough, though. Also, the enemy cannons are perfectly lined up, at least this battery is perfectly lined up for me to shoot straight down the line. Right. Let's get our troops ready. They cannot set it up so we can defeat their force in detail. We're gonna get the archers up first. Then we're gonna have the melee units. And then we have the musket boys coming in. We have our horse archers, and then the European force. Since we've got so much enemy cavalry, it's going to be important to focus in fire on them and try and break down as much of the cavalry as possible. Because so much of my army are units that are not really resistant to cavalry charges. I've got 3 units that can form square. The Irish Brigades and the Regiment of Pikemen. But that's about it. So we'll see how we work there. I did not realize the range of these were that... You know, compare the range is roughly the same. It just looks more because this has a shorter range, or like shorter span, because the unit is not as wide. Oh, we got a few. Ooh, that was a good hit. And we got another good hit there going through. Nicely done. I want to continue hitting there. This battery also needs to get hit. This looks like the new target. Bouncing through this into that one. That should be good. And then troops slowly get into line. I guess we want to spread out the units that can form square. So the Irish Brigades, it looks like we've naturally kind of done that. Irish Brigade, Colonial Militia and the boys, and then pikes there. So that we've got units to retreat in behind. And they move the cavalry unit. Right, the new target is this, bouncing through there into multiple units. I'm gonna hit them a little bit more with cannon before we move forward to take out the main force. Want to move the general a little bit closer. I think we're gonna need him, I think. We might actually start this fight over here by targeting this area with cannons. It's 4 units. kind of stupid how the enemy set up their force, because they're gonna be I'm gonna be able to defeat them in detail if they continue like that. Ooh, that's some good hits. That was some good cannon hits. We're gonna start this fight though, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order it to fire behind the unit. And then, as soon as that hits, all the archers gonna move forward. And then the musketeer is gonna join in. Wait, are they moving a cannon battery? Yeah, they're moving a battery. Might I target that one? But I think as long as they've got the superior amount of cannons, they will not go into the attack. And I kind of don't want... Okay, targeting behind the unit seemed not to have worked, because every single cannon shot there missed. And these two didn't even fire. I'll fire these 2 cannon shots. Make sure that these fire. And then we'll get all the other cannons to fire at the same time at this one. In front of it then, so we can bounce through it. Wonder where they're gonna put that cannon. They're bombarding us, but they're not doing the same kind of damage, because it's a 9-pounder, so what's a shitty, but the other one is theirs, the shitty one, the 3-pounder. Also, they're firing into the ground, lobbing the shot god knows where. Well, maybe they're trying to shoot at me! Trying to shoot the god general out of the sky. Well, we're ready to fire. Go ahead and fire ahead of that. A single cannon. A single cannon shot, and then the unit, of course, wakes up. Oh, they're running away. Archers forward. Melee contingent. I think they can hide in the woods there, can't they? And then the musket can go into there. And then we got these and squares on the side with the pikes ready to form. Oh, there's a lot of cavalry moving around. I don't like that. Fire in towards this. Could get some good bounces as they're all moving around. Yeah, I think we look like we got one good shot bouncing through there. Okay, I definitely don't want to attack now when all the enemy's cavalry is moving around. You can imagine all of this coming against my line, so you can kind of see my apprehension at throwing my forces at this. What I maybe want to do is negate the cavalry charge, or like focus it in at one area. We've got impossible terrain up here, which could be used, plus the village could be used to funnel all the cavalry into kind of a trap. Or like just around here, like have their army come at us here, and then have troops on the side. Oh shoot, I think they're looking to move forward. Like, looks like a lot of these units are moving forward, aren't they? We need to move back to kind of concentrate the lines a little bit. Form square. I'll put these 3 units inside, but don't throw any axes. You will also form square. You will form pike line. These guys open fire. Oh crap, they're coming, yeah, they're coming on the attack now. What I want to do is these guys are really good at killing enemy cavalry when they're allowed to, you know, put down a lot of fire onto them. Persistent fire over a long time. They're not gonna do well in a one versus one against these units in melee. Okay, so I think we got rid of 2 units over there. Fire on these. Okay, now they're kind of throwing everything in. You will be moving up. Oh shit. This is probably not going to turn out too well. These 2 units will move back. I'm going to move in the general. We're going to move some units back here. Yeah, they're throwing everything in now. I don't want to drag in any more units. Right now we don't have good shot for the cannon, so we'll just target that over there. Trying to pull as many archers back as possible. I want these guys actually to shoot at all the light horse units, not at these musket units. So I want to do this. And then if we can get their cavalry to ride into the pike wall. Can you fire overhead? I think you might. I'm gonna move them a little bit closer. Right, so these coming around. Actually, a lot of the enemy units kind of broken up here, aren't they? Send these in, join. Actually, the squares are not really needed because the enemy is not attacking them. So they will form into line and open fire. Currently also I'm realizing we're shooting a lot into our own pike formation. It's actually working pretty well. They have quite the formation up here though. It's mostly infantry. Shouldn't be that difficult to defeat that. My horse archers is going to be killing a lot of these enemies. And then we got a lot of musketry dealing with this. Didn't go as bad as I thought it would. You can hold fire now. I'm going to target you against this. Yeah, look at that. We actually held the line against all of that. The thing here is going to be the enemy cannon is doing a number on my horse archers. I'm going to throw in all non-musket units into the fray. The general got hit. Doing good work on all of these units. I'm going to melee charge them with the auxiliaries. And now we're going to reorganize the line. And we're going to prepare for this to strike us. Hold fire. I want the cannon now to target that unit. I'm gonna send you out to charge down the cannons. And then we're gonna have you prepared to swing in on the enemy. Right, I think we hit it because they have definitely woken up. We probably killed tons of them in the process as well. Right, they're gone. I'm gonna place these in front, kind of sacrifice them. However, we're gonna hold fire now because we're probably just shooting our own. They're not sending forwards the... it is the general, that's why it's not coming forwards. I'm gonna lure these guys in. And hopefully lure them into this musket cauldron that we've got prepared for them. Continuing to blast the general. And all of these are ready to open fire. I'm gonna make sure to kind of spread these out a little bit, just so we can block these from being able to attack and stop the muskets from firing. And there we open fire with them. And now we also open fire with the horsemen, the riders, continuously firing cannon towards their general. Looks good. Once the general dies, I can use this cavalry to ride in and charge down a lot of these units out here. I'm sure he's gonna die in a second from my cannon fire. A little bit worried that they're they're gonna be able to break through over on the right. I'm gonna move my general over there. I'm gonna swing around. Actually, the horse archers should be moved in to try and kill the enemy general. They're really effective at shooting down enemy horsemen. Right, this part of the cauldron needs to fall back, and I think we put the pikemen behind to support. Getting some volleys of arrows into that. It's gonna do good. For us, not for him now. And the firing continues throughout the line. Go on, shoot them all down. Oh, this guy died in the air. The matrix have broken in a few areas here. Enemy units stuck up in the air. Might have the horse archers now concentrate on the main force of the enemy. Let's see, I moved the general specifically around so that I could set him up in the flank here to target the enemy. No units we're forgetting. I'm surprised the enemy general is still alive. Where's the cannon? You're supposed to target them. Target him. You know what? We're gonna send off the horse archers to kill off the enemy's cannons. That will change the balance of power, and that might in turn break the enemy army. Oh, we've got units coming around the flank. It's gonna throw in the pikemen to join in that. We got the general firing onto these. Okay, you're out of shot. So you might as well charge the enemy general. As you do that, I'm gonna order the cannon to hold fire. Might actually do better here if I order my general to charge. Now the cavalry will turn back to slay what's left. Pike formation holds. I mean, I don't think the pikes are that useful anymore. Early on, they were, you know, they slaughtered, but or I guess they more slaughter the Europeans because of low melee defense. But the natives got plenty of that. Let's see, my general will be charging on over here. Oh, everyone's kind of out of ammo now. Oh, who's that? Enemy general was killed. That should be enough, shouldn't it, for our enemies to break and us to call a victory. Looks as though I won't be able to get a... Wait, why did this guy break? Oh, we've been firing into our back. I thought these arrows would... Oh, because of the position of these bowmen, they weren't able to fire. Oh, I missed that. They're kind of in a trench behind. So even with their arc, they wasn't enough because they were shooting up into the back of that unit. I mean, I won the battle, but it's gonna be very expensive to replenish the forces after this. Gonna make sure that we chase down a few of these. And about half the army has left the field. Yeah, there's only unfortunately gonna be this battle, but I am happy nonetheless, because we were victorious. And all in all, I mean, most of the participants in the battle were hired in auxiliaries and not like proper army units. Kind of interesting how England and France goes to battle with armies comprised almost like 80% of, you know, native allies. Anyways, let's not linger. Back to the campaign map. High losses on both sides, however, there's a clear advantage to our side. Still 1600 men remain of our force compared to 400 of the enemy. With that though, you know, we lost 2,500 men and the enemy lost almost 4,000 men. Which means that, what, 6,500 men lie dead on the field out of 8,500. So only 2,000 men survived out of that battle. Out of 8. In terms of friendly fire, it's quite high. I was thinking it's going to be close to 1,000. Surely some grave mistakes were made in the end there, where some of our archers was firing into back of the militia. The militia is not that important. Cannons, they had good targets. I mean, I'm sure we probably got like 100 kills firing some of those cannonballs straight through those masses of enemy soldiers. Great Plains archers, so that's a horse archers. Irish brigade, pretty good. The boys, it's pretty good, but yeah, as someone previously mentioned, why are they retreating all the way over there? Clearly, the native bowman is not a good unit, or at least not when you use them. When the AI uses them, they're fantastic, but when you use them, they're really shit. I also think native muskets aren't that good either. They didn't end up high on any list of anything. So we're gonna get rid of most of that. Luckily, I kind of already foreseen that the Great Plains Horse Archers were really good. So we're gonna get more of those. I mean, they got 50 accuracy and 150 range compared to these, which they got 40 accuracy. 10 more is quite a lot. Is there a big price difference in between them? These are actually more expensive than the Great Plains Horse Archers. The difference is these guys got higher morale, but I mean their accuracy is shit compared to these. These units, if you get them in the right sort of angle, they can absolutely destroy enemy cavalry, which we definitely gonna need a lot of, seeing as though the enemy spammed cavalry. I'm not gonna go all the way over there to chase those guys down. My cavalry can actually get there. So maybe I should do that, rather than having them go and burn down the tenant farm. So we could send that force, but given that this episode, as long as it already is, I'll end up doing that off camera. We're gonna have to buy some more troops. Looks like we're gonna have to wait off with the attack on Brussels. We simply do not have enough time in this episode. Quite unfortunate. To pad the episode a little bit here, which I doubt we need to pad even. One thing that we definitely need to do is see about getting rid of, you know, the naval war is doing a lot of damage to us. Currently, we get an income of 6,000 per turn. However, the amount of trade income that is lost due to the ports being blocked is tremendous. I think I was making close to 17,000 before. And now we're only making about 11 from trade. So much is lost due to them blocking our ports. We still have this port in the south open, and luckily it seems like a lot of trade is actually going through this port. Because we've got Venice, Ottoman Empire, Austria, Papal States, Knight of St. John, and the Crimeans. The trade that we are losing is Sweden, Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire we get like 2,000, so that's a big loss. Same with Marathan Confederacy is kind of a big loss. Scotland not as much, neither Portugal, Persia. I can't remember how much we made from them. But also due to the pirates, if we look here, none of our sugar is coming in, none of our spices, none of our cotton, none of our tobacco, none of the furs from America is coming in. And yeah, I sent out a trade ship to get to the coast of Brazil. None of this. I wonder actually. I'll quickly just test. If we move them away and put them back there. Oh, it's going to the same port. I was hoping maybe it switched to an open port instead. But no, it seems to be going to the same port, unfortunately. So the amount of lost revenue that I would get if these ports were open. Just when these guys disappear, when I'm able to destroy the Dutch once more, just with that port opening up, I'm sure I'll make it'll rise to like 10,000. And then when this trade port is open up again, looks like we only get Sweden through here though, so that's about just 1,000, which isn't that big of a loss. But yeah. What else is there to say? Nothing, really. You don't need to pad the episode because that battle was like 25 minutes, so... With that said, I leave you guys on a cliffhanger for this mighty fight. Where we got, you know, what is it? 29 units. Tons of cannons. A proper European line battle to be fought at. I'll leave the cliffhanger for that for episode 8. But with that said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!